right, everybody, here we are, day 8 of 22 push-up challenge, 22 days, focusing on the topic of veteran suicide. Um, I gotta be honest, I mean, it's tough. You know, here I am 8 days in of spending anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes focusing on the topic as heavy and dark as suicide. It gets challenging, it gets draining, it gets depressing. Um, we've touched on things from friends of mine who have taken their life to my own struggles. It's been a lot, but that's the point. We don't want this to be easy. It's not going to be an easy conversation. It's not going to be an easy journey. It's not easy for those going through it. And if one person thinks twice, if one person is stopped or hesitates, changes their mind about taking their life, I would do this every night for the rest of my life. Because that's how important this is. Because we're not dealing with numbers and statistics. We're not dealing with 22 a day as an obscure number. It's not just some random person. I want this to be as personal as possible. I want this to be something that we think of in terms of the human element. These are real people. These are real lives coming to an end. Real families left without their sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, etc. These are our fighting men and women losing hope in life, in the system, in their country, in themselves, to the point where they can't think of any other way out. They can't think of any possible avenue of reprieve. So they end their life. And that's dark. That's horrible. That's a terrible tunnel to live in. It's like a whirlpool that sucks you under, and you can't fight your way back to the surface sometimes. So yeah, if it gets a little dark, if these drag on, if it isn't as fun and happy of a experience watching all these videos as I think maybe you might have thought they were, it isn't a fun and exciting experience for these men and women to go through. And that's what we need to understand is it is a challenge. It is a challenge for them. It is a challenge to share what they're going through. It is a challenge to wake up every morning, to go to bed every night, to feel like there is a reason to continue. But there is. There is a reason to continue. There is hope. There is light. There is love out there. You have to give it a chance. And sometimes that means asking for help. That's why we're doing this, trying to raise money for Mission 22, one of many wonderful organizations that help shine the spotlight on veteran suicide and help get those individuals the help they need. Right now we're sitting really good. I know the numbers on Facebook are not necessarily indicative because I do have some money that is going to be added to that here in the next 24 hours. So we're sitting $1,700 in 8 days. That's amazing. We're getting there. We're making an effort. We're trying to make a difference. But more importantly than that, I really hope somebody has watched this at some point and said, man, maybe I will ask for help. Maybe I will put the gun down, put the bottle down, put the pills away. Maybe I will give it one more chance. God, I hope so. And again, if you're struggling, please reach out to somebody. Reach out to me, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family. I know you feel like they won't understand. I know you feel like they'll judge you. I know you feel like you shouldn't feel this way, so you shouldn't burden them because you're already too much of a burden, which is bullshit. You're not. These are people who want to be there for you if you let them. And I know it doesn't always feel that way, but please, please reach out to somebody. Uh, 22 plus veterans every day. 22 plus. 1 hour every day. Somebody who has gone to bat for us. Somebody who stood up, swore an oath to this country to protect us, loses hope and ends their life. We can do better. We can help. And that's what we need to do. That's what we're trying to do here. It's not about me rambling and ranting and raving. It's not about my stories. It's not about the push-ups. It's about these real people with real feelings and real suicide, real lives ended. Not on TV, not in the news. These are our friends, our neighbors, our sisters and brothers, our close friends, our buddies from the service. If you've ever put on that uniform, reach out to your friends, reach out to your buddies, reach out to anybody you've ever known, because one of them is struggling. I guarantee it. And if it's you, man, it doesn't matter how long it's been, how many years it's been. Reach out to one of them. Because I guarantee they would much rather talk to you on the phone than carry you to your grave. I know I would. It's a struggle. It's a struggle for people on both sides. It's a struggle to know how to bring up the topic. It's a struggle to know how to talk to somebody when they're struggling like that. But we have to be willing to listen first and foremost. So don't shy away from the conversation, and don't be afraid to ask them how they're doing. They may just be waiting for you to open that door for them. So let's do it together. So today I think I'm going to share a little bit about what got me in the Army. So I grew up knowing at some point in my life I was going to be in the Army. I knew it from my first memories. I had many uncles who served. I had a grandfather who served in the Navy in World War II. I had uncles who served in Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm. To me, it was just something that was always there, always in the forefront of my mind. A couple of my biggest influences, however, I always remember my Uncle Tom, who was next in line. My mom was the youngest of 11. Uncle Tom was number 10. So they were close in age, they were close. Anytime he was in town, he always brought me an Army hat. I was the kid who you never saw in anything other than Army pants, t-shirts, Army hat. I mean, that was me 24/7. I knew it. Most of you know me well enough to know I'm also a huge pro wrestling fan. Growing up, I loved wrestling, and I loved G.I. Joe, Sergeant Slaughter, who I had the fortune of meeting in 2019, and actually had him sign a hat I wore on deployment and said, hey, when I was a kid, you were my favorite G.I. Joe, you were my favorite wrestlers, you were one of the motivators for me to enlist, and that was a awesome moment. One of the few times I actually fanboyed over somebody I've met in the wrestling world. Um, so I knew from a young age that's what I wanted to do. So when I was going through high school, I had originally planned on attending West Point, if at all possible, military academy. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the military academies, it is not easy to get in. It's not your typical college entrance experience. There's a lot more to it. Not only do you have to have phenomenal grades, community service, extracurriculars, and all the things that make you look good on most college applications, you have to be able to pass a physical fitness test. You have to interview and acquire a congressional nomination. You have to have one of your Congress people nominate you. And each congressperson can nominate 2 people every year. So the number of slots that are available from your state are limited, particularly in a smaller state like Iowa. So I managed to acquire congressional nomination. I took my physical fitness test and did really well. Unfortunately for me, I'm fairly certain 2 of the things that hindered me the most were, one, I was right on the line, right on the deadline of getting my application turned in. It was an extensive application, complete with multiple questions, essays, like a 5-page written, why do I want to do this sort of thing. I know when I went to mail it off, I dropped the damn thing in the mud. So but I didn't have time to redo it. I cut it too close. And that may or may not have been a factor. I don't know. But in the long run, that wasn't my journey. That wasn't what I was meant to do. So that fell through. Instead, I attended Iowa State University. I love Iowa State University. I enrolled in the ROTC program there. Okay, still looking officer path. Unfortunately, young Justin was a little rambunctious, a little rowdy, really wasn't dedicated to studies. I'm 40 now, so hopefully I'm past the point where Dad's gonna see this and give me a whooping. But the fact of the matter is, all I did was drink and party. And when I went home at Thanksgiving, I couldn't have told you what classes I was enrolled in. The only things I attended were the ROTC things. Because that's the only thing I wanted. That's the only thing I was doing in college that spoke to me as to, hey, this is the path I want in my life. So, the officers in the ROTC program, the instructors, must have realized where my grades were headed. And I remember one day I was sleeping. It's noon plus. I mean, I didn't attend class, so hey, who cared? I get a knock on my door. I get up. I answer the door of my dorm room, and there's a recruiter standing right there. Hey, Colonel so-and-so said that you might be interested in enlisting. What? What? I was hungover. Like, whatever gets you out of here the soonest. Yeah, let's do it. And at the time, there was like this program where you could enlist in the National Guard, and it would then help pay for your college, as well as you would attend the ROTC program, and it would kind of fast track you through your unit as well, and you would kind of like escalate through ranks that way. So I'm like, sure, we'll give that a try. Why not? I'm gonna do it all anyway. So we're sitting down, we're talking, we're in the memorial unit, I remember, and he's giving me all the options. Like, okay, so What do you want to do? Oh, I want to run in the woods and shoot guns. That's what I want to do. Oh, well, how about a truck driver, a mechanic? Are you good with computers? Like, is there something you want to do with some skills that can use it, when you get out? No. I want to run in the woods and shoot guns. Infantry, that's what I want to do. Well, that's an option. We can definitely do that. But when you get older, you might want something else. You might want a job that you can then convert into a civilian career. I'm like, no, you're not listening. Woods, guns. What's the misstep? Where are we missing each other here? I'm making this abundantly clear. So try as he might, I was dead set. That's what I wanted to do. And sure enough, signed the dotted line. Spent some time in the National Guard, spent some time active duty. And at 18, woods, guns, all day, baby. 25, sitting in the desert, carrying a 30-pound machine gun. You're like, man, maybe he had a point. But in all honesty, I don't know that I would have wanted to do anything else. I enjoyed being an infantryman. I enjoyed what I did. I probably would still be doing it, but I met a woman who changed my mind. Made me realize that maybe there was a different life meant for me, and so far I'm loving the life I'm leading, and I have great memories of my time in the service. I loved being in the Army. Yeah, great experience. I encourage anybody who thinks that they might want to go down that path, reach out. We can talk about that. I mean, it's not all negatives. It's not all bad stuff. It's it's a great life. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Let's knock out these push-ups. So 22 push-ups a day. We're doing 22. One for every life that was given up today. And that's what it was. They were given up. They gave up their lives. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. It's they hit a point where they just felt they couldn't anymore. And they gave up. And that saddens me. That should sadden everybody. Because I don't want to quit on them. And I hope you don't either. So, let's get these push-ups knocked out. Nothing fancy today. We're just going to get the old tried and true today. Oh, a little old, a little creaky, probably need oiled a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sorry. 21, 22. 22 push-ups. 22 lives lost. We got 22 days. Sure be great if we could save 22 lives. Let's set that as our goal.